Hey everyone, Life Coach Carisa here, and I'm coming to you today with a topic that I think could be helpful for so many people. I know it was for me, and it's about making peace with your past. You know, we all have things in our past that we carry with us, things that happened to us, things that may have been said to us, things that were done to us. And sometimes bad things happen to good people, unspeakable things. You know, we each have our story. We may have a story that has a lot of tragedy. We may have a story that has a little bit of discomfort and dysfunctional things. Or maybe we're a little light in that department, but we all have something. We all have something from our past that we carry with us. And what I want to do today is just create some awareness around your past and how you choose to think about it in this present day and how it's either helping you or it's hindering you. You know, often the source of our pain from our past is no longer actively inflicting pain upon us now, but we keep it alive with our thoughts. Like, it's not actually happening to me today, what happened to me in my childhood. But I am keeping it alive, and I continue to inflict that pain upon myself. This is where you have power. Your past only exists in your thoughts. What you choose to think about your past. What you choose to think about those events that happened. Regrets that you may have. Choices you made. Something happened in your past, and you make it mean something today. And you may find that the story evolves. Like, I've noticed that stories of something that maybe happened in my past, that story has kind of grown and taken on a whole new life. It's almost like every time I think about it and replay it, I add more energy to it. I add more storytelling to it. That's normal. It's what our brain does, right? It repeats these stories as a way to protect us, to have us feeling like we have a protection mechanism in that if I think about this thing that happened to me from the past, I will make sure that it doesn't repeat itself. Like, I think that's why that's innately in us. But what we don't think about is how much damage we're doing by staying in the stories of our past, or at least not deciding what we want to make them mean today. So how you choose to think about your past is what will either propel you forward or keep you stuck, like in a victim mentality. You know, I can choose to think about things that happened to me, and I can decide what I want to make it mean today. That's your choice. You know, you are not what you think about. And this is a hard concept to really, really digest. It was hard for me. It took for me a while to really create the separation. But what you think about is not who you are. You have a human brain, and it has a primitive part of it, and it has a prefrontal part of it. And the primitive brain will keep you safe from harm. And so it's there to keep you safe, but it can also create this feeling of fear of moving past some of these experiences that happened to us previously in our life. And the way that I know you are not the thoughts in your brain is because if someone texted you right now and said, I need to speak to you as soon as possible, it's an emergency, it's important, your brain could come up with 100 different scenarios of worst case possibility that what it might be about. 99.9% of the time, it's not going to be any of those. But our brain has this ability to look for danger and discomfort, and it will prepare us. And so you're not those thoughts. You just have a very creative, primitive brain that kind of is preparing you for what may be coming. So you are not your thoughts. We first need to create the separation from that. You are not what you think about. You are not the thoughts in your brain. And this is where you have all the power for changing the story. So I want you to focus your attention to your thinking. And I want you to try to create awareness around recognizing if you are a past-focused thinking person or a future thinking person. And signs of being past-focused would be you define yourself from your past, you reference the past a lot, you storytell the past and you replay these stories either audibly to the world or just in your own mind. You may have a victim mentality about it, and you're going to feel weighed down by your past. These are not stories that are energizing you and helping you move forward and create what you want in your life. They are keeping you stuck. It's like you're treading water and you have an anchor hanging from your feet. You're weighted down with these stories of your past. That's really past-focused thinking. Future thinking is you're tapping into your imagination. You're being extremely creative. You may not know the answers, but you're being curious and asking yourself, how could I do this? Why do I want to do this? What is possible for me? You're really tapping into your inner creativity. You are learning. You are changing. It is not in our nature to constantly be future thinking. It's more in our nature to be past-focused thinking because it's what keeps us safe and protects us. But if you can practice, because it is a skill set that you can practice, being future thinking, you are going to be able to spend time focusing on what's possible in your life rather than looking to your past for evidence of why you can't do something. You know, I would spend so much time focusing on the gaps in my life, and then I would go find evidence from these past stories that would reiterate why I couldn't do something or why I wasn't good at something or why I wasn't capable. And the fact of the matter is, when you're trying to push outside of your comfort zone, you can't really look to your past for evidence. It's not there. You're creating it. So you have to really be intentional to be a future thinking person versus a past focused thinking person. So that's the step one. Pay attention to what you think about. If you could try to average it out, where do you spend the bulk of your thoughts? Are they in the past, weighing you down? Or are they in the future, at looking at what's possible? And the other thing is, look at those situations from your past. No matter how difficult or terrible or painful they might be, look at them and decide what you want to make them mean today. Because you are a different person today than when it happened to you. And you can choose to rewrite this story and practice repeating it in your brain and have that be the new story about your past. I could take a situation that happened to me in my childhood years that really makes me kind of depressed when I think about it. And I could say, you know what? That situation made me the person that I am today. I am who I am today because of those experiences. And when I change the story about that, I get energy and motivation that pushes me forward. It doesn't keep me feeling stuck. So look at all of those situations from your past that don't feel good and rewrite them today. Literally, take a piece of paper and write out what you want to think about that thing today. And use it in a way to push you forward, not to hold you back. You know, everything that has happened to me in my life before now has made me what I am today. And so I can choose to look at it as a negative or a positive. I have that power to choose. And like I said, it's going to either drive me to go towards what I want, or it's going to hold me back and keep me feeling stuck. And the last thing is, look at your long-held belief systems and question them. Because we have things ingrained in us as children and we just keep living them. We believe them with everything within our being, that they are true and it's the way it has to be. But I would ask you to re-look at them. Notice things that you just believe to your core and question them. If they still feel right to you today, and if they're still serving you today. You know, I had a belief system that to make someone better, you keep pushing them harder and harder, almost to the point to where they're at their breaking point, and then that's when they're going to have this big breakthrough. Like, I had that belief that that's how you get the best out of people. But you know what? Like, when that happened to me as a child, it really didn't help me. It really didn't work well with me. But for some reason, I carry that belief system into my adult life and my parenting. And I was going to do that with my kids because I was going to push them so hard that they would hit that breaking point and then they would have this magnificent breakthrough. But that never happened with me. So why was I still carrying this belief system around? It really didn't make sense to me anymore. And so by systematically looking at all of those belief systems that I had, I could decide whether they were still serving me today, whether I still believed them, whether I wanted to continue carrying those with me. So those are 3 areas you can start. First of all, get the awareness that you are not your thoughts. Second of all, pay attention to your type of thinking, whether you stay in a past-focused or a future-focused. Look at those stories from your past and rewrite them the way that you want today that will serve you going forward. And look at your belief systems that you hold true to you and decide if they still are serving you and whether you still believe them or not. If you can maybe spend a little bit of time and create some awareness and focus on those 3 areas, I'm telling you the time that you spend in that will be well worth it. Because what you're doing is setting yourself up for the next version of yourself so that you can go after goals and aspirations that you have in life. And you can once and for all decide what you want your past to mean and how you want it to show up in your life today. Remember, that pain from your past is no longer inflicting pain on you. It's you doing it to yourself by keeping it alive and well in your brain, by choosing what you think about it. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. I know the past can be a very painful thing for so many people, and it doesn't go away overnight, but by creating a little bit of this awareness around it and being intentional with your thinking, you can really start to heal some of what holds you down and keeps you feeling stuck. All right, guys, until next time, take care of yourselves and focus on you and focus on being intentional. Take care.